Now look, I've done a lot of things that are beneficial to my mental performance, right? Including nootropics, optimizing testosterone, optimizing my general energy baseline, like looking at blood work religiously, almost excessively, and then experimenting, trying to modify things, retesting, noting performance. But the single most effective thing that I have learned to do that maintains my mental performance throughout the day, aside from nootropics, and I still get you can still force yourself into a degree of a deficit even with taking the right stacks to where you have to do this, is not ruminating, okay? Now, let me just explain a little further. The fastest way to degrade your mental performance, the fastest way, that without question will happen, the fastest way to degrade your mental performance is to respond to things that are stressful in your life mentally and continue doing that. Going in loops in your head, thinking about the things that are stressful, but not ending up with those loops in some sort of solution to the inner conflict that's happening in your head and some sort of solution to the stress, right? Solution might take a long time if it's something related to business or your life or whatever, but you've got to be calm throughout the process, and you can't. The rule of thumb is don't get stuck on the same thought, because literally what you're doing is you're letting this negative energy and this bad anxiety run through your head, and you're just seeing it over and over again. You're probably making pictures of the scenario, of the real life scenario that is relevant to, and it's just causing a stress response. And it is a big bottleneck to the performance that can be in your head. So this is what you do. When you find yourself doing that, ruminating, going in circles about, reacting to things that are wrong in your life or some current situation or any kind of negative thoughts, stop. The moment you start doing that, stop, okay? If you're gonna work on a solution, you should probably do it at a different time. Your brain is a central processing machine. Everything else should be compartmentalized, some in your brain, otherwise on paper. You should compartmentalize things on paper and get your thoughts out on paper and then reorganize them there. Then you can put them back in, and then they're not sitting there with this burning fire in your head causing you to have deteriorated brain performance. Otherwise, stop. Take 5 minutes, set a timer on your phone and meditate. If you don't know how to meditate, you're really just focusing on nothing. You're doing the act of attention, but on nothing. No thoughts. If thoughts come in, you do not entertain them. You basically shut out thoughts. And that takes time. That's neurobiological wiring to do it, to learn how to do it. And then when you're there, you're using that wiring and you're continuing to sort of grow gray matter and all these things, integrate the corpus callosum, the threads between the hemispheres of your brain, so that you can respond better to stress, and the anterior cingulate cortex gets optimized, and your stress response is better. Stop yourself, meditate for 5 minutes, right? Focus on nothing for 5 minutes, or 10 or 15, however long it takes, but 5 is usually a good thing. But the important thing is you get better at this over time. Stopping yourself when you're going around in a loop, but you're not ending up somewhere in some trajectory. Like, the thought has to go somewhere. The thinking has to end up in a solution. Or you just leave it alone completely for now and clear your brain and come back to it differently, preferably with better tools like pen and paper, because your brain is a central processor, man. You got to get that stuff out, compartmentalize it, make it neat, then you can reabsorb it. And then it's not in there as a fire burning in your head, causing you to have deteriorated mental performance. This alone, for me, on top of nootropics and energy and hormonal profile optimization, all these things that I do and biohackers should do, and that I do with clients, this is like one of the most important things, because you can be in an incredibly optimized state and then you can basically crash it And then you end up in a place where you're tired, you mentally have no endurance left, and you just want to sit and do nothing, watch Netflix or whatever. Got to stop yourself from doing it. It is like Pacman to your great mental performance. It's like Pacman coming around and eating your good elements of brain performance. You don't want to ruminate, don't want to be stuck on things. You have to have these strategies, okay? So don't spend your time reacting to things in your head over and over. The moment you see that they're going in a loop, stop it right then and there. Meditate for 5. Deal with it on paper if you have to deal with it at all. Deal with it on paper. You make it a habit of doing this, you get stronger and better at doing it every time. You end up in a place where it's 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and say you have some other things that you need to get done. You're working on a night business separate from your job, or just other productivity in your current whatever. You'll have the energy to do it. Because all the things that are sapping your energy throughout the day and sapping your brain performance, particularly this, you've taken care of it, and you didn't let it do it. Thanks so much for watching. Hope that makes sense. Guys, Cortex Auto Ship, our most popular buy right now. Nootropics shipped to your doorstep every month for cheaper than the original price of Cortex. It's just been a smash hit. People have been buying, 3 or 4 bottles of Cortex at a time, or every month they'll just buy more Cortex. Why do that and spend the extra money when you can just do auto ship? And having Cortex around, having a Cortex bottle around all the time will benefit you. Shouldn't take it every day. You should vary between stacks, obviously. But man, you're in a pinch, take a couple capsules of Cortex, brain turns right on. Auto ship, Cortex Nootropics stack. Do it at livecortex.com. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Talk to you next time.